Hey, everybody. This is Tait Fletcher, and this is your Pirate Life podcast, brought to you by my favorite coffee in the world and what I've been drinking all day, Caveman Coffee. You can find it at cavemancoffee.com, and there's a delicious new cold brew that's out there, and we're getting distributed all over. So if your gym or your store or whatever wants to carry that, please contact us at cavemancoffee.com and start that dialogue, and we'll get it all going. Also, nuevacerveza.com, a nice little Mexican beer, and it's they say it's delicious. I don't drink beer, of course, but everybody loves it, and they are raving about it, and we're almost internationally distributed right now. It's a real strong brand throughout New Mexico. My friend Marcos and myself have put together, and it's a trip, man. And also Concrete Cowboy in Dallas, Austin, and Houston. ConcreteCowboyDallas.com. You can find out a bunch of information there, and we'll be hiring in Houston soon. So check all that out.
A big Tait Fletcher.
Powerful Tait Fletcher.
Is a real alpha male.
Weightlifter.
He's a stuntman.
Movie star.
Robust, enthusiastic individual.
He's huge, by the way. He's like a monster person.
One of the sweetest guys I know.
He's bigger than life.
Actor.
Entrepreneur.
A fighter.
The jiu-jitsu technician.
He's also bald and he has all these tattoos. He's just a big fucking man.
A man, a myth, a legend.
Tait Fletcher.
Tait Fletcher.
Tait Fletcher.
What's up, Tait Fletcher, you bad motherfucker?
Tait Fletcher. Tait Fletcher is
Tait Fletcher.
Teddy bear motherfucking Fletcher, ladies and gentlemen.
That's Tait Fletcher, everybody.
The great Tait Fletcher. Tait the animal Fletcher. Tait the savage Fletcher. Always moving. There's no stillness with Tait Fletcher. You will find no dust.
Tait Fletcher's in the house, ladies and gentlemen. He just said the word erection.
Tait Fletcher.
Tait Fletcher's in the fucking house. Tait Fletcher!
Tait really blasts out some serious hardcore truth bombs, and I think you're really going to enjoy it.
All right, so we're live on Pirate Life Podcast, and we got Cowboy decided to come in and make a little time in his hellaciously busy schedule between
Being
killing
awesome.
animals, racing cars, slamming beers, and punching dudes in the head better and better every day. And you're just fresh out of a swim workout. And
Yeah,
when you were telling me that, you're like, yeah, I'll be done at swimming after 12:30 or whatever. And all I thought was, I'm so fucking glad that I don't do anything in my life where I have to go and maybe lose consciousness from oxygen deprivation in a pool or something like that. How was your swim today? Was it fun?
You hit it right on the head because he makes us hold our breath and do a lot of swimming, and you come up sometimes down and back, and you're like lightheaded and seeing stars. Like, oh man, he's like, all right, let's fucking do it again.
Right.
Brutal. So yeah, we were up at 4 a.m. duck hunting to strength conditioning to swimming. And
Do you call duck hunting strength and conditioning, or is that more of a meditative
let me
thing?
tell you something. Today's duck hunting experience was a little different than most. Whenever I watch hunting shows and I see people like in the wilderness and they get lost, I'm like, what an idiot. How do you get lost?
Right.
Bro, we got lost today. Bad. We got...
Is this land that you hadn't been used to going
yeah,
to?
well, I used my iPhone. We were trying to find this duck blind. And
That's kind of sketchy as it is, because even if I'm in downtown LA, my shit doesn't always connect very well. You know what I mean? Like, you're in the fucking woods.
We head off, we start bushwhacking. Somehow we get spun around and we end up back at the truck.
Right.
I kid you not. And I was like, what just happened? And then we're like, all right, clearly that's not the right way. Let's go this way. And we do it again and get completely lost. And yeah, it was nuts. But then we finally found our way. Some old guy with a flashlight just jogging or something.
It's
was
a hard time of the day, too, because you're like, I want to be there a good half hour before it gets light.
Yeah,
like,
you have to be. You got to get set so you're down hidden.
That's the same as deer hunting in
Yeah,
Michigan.
sure.
Same shit.
You know? Which I don't understand why you have to be there before the sun up.
Because
does a fucking deer not eat at noon? Because
they've got that, but they all come in right at break, right? They start wandering. They've got
crazy.
their own timetable.
It is.
You don't hunt like that in Colorado, though. You're more hunting trails and stuff, right?
Yeah,
You're not
yeah.
waiting. You're more stalking in that way,
Stalk
and it's
'em.
longer shots.
Are we talking about the bar?
So how was the success duck hunting?
Well, it was a fail. Today was practice. We were practicing for next time.
You were training your dogs.
Training our dogs, yeah.
Basically.
They did really good, actually.
Good.
The little
That's kind of the
puppies.
best component of duck hunting, because you don't want to have to wait out to get your ducks. You want
No.
a dog that is into doing that and not mutilating them on the way back.
Yeah, my girl Lou, she's a year and a half. She's solid, man. Super trained. I just got a new puppy.
Is it a lab or what?
Yeah, lab.
Yeah.
I got a chocolate lab. He's only 10 weeks old. He was out there today. And the gunshots didn't even faze him. He acted like he didn't even hear nothing, so it was cool.
Do you use bird? Do you go like for woodcock or grouse or anything like that?
I go dove, pheasant. Pheasant's my absolute favorite. Turkey and
Dove
duck.
sucks. I mean, they're fun to shoot, but it's a bummer because it's
Nothing
like
to it,
here's
yeah.
a half a
After you
teaspoon
yeah,
of meat.
right.
Like it's like, and that's a lot of work if you're doing that yourself.
We feed him to our pig, so
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I got invited to a duck hunt in Canada, which seemed like a terrific pain in the ass for what it was. And they're like, we just shoot garbage bags of ducks. And I was like, and then how do you get them back? And all. They're like, we just leave them,
Just
whatever.
leave 'em, yeah,
And
let 'em
I'm not super interested in that. Like,
Yeah.
that's not really my kind of hunt so
right,
much.
I'm with you. We the ducks we breast out, make duck jerky, and then I feed the rest of my pig. So
I had duck jerky.
it's pretty good teriyaki duck jerky.
I'm gonna have to come out and see the freezer at the ranch.
It's all right. It's a good deal. Good deal. I like it. So
When you're done with this next fight, will you go duck hunting more? Will your activities in the off season become more pronounced, or do you stay pretty steady with your schedule all the way through?
All the way through. Stay right on.
Except for fight week.
Even fight week, I do whatever I want. I just do whatever I want all the time. I don't care. I just.
Is the rule? Is that just the loose term for it? The Donald Cerrone rule when they came up with hey, please don't do anything extreme like mountain climbing or jumping out of a plane while you're under contract with the UFC.
Yeah, but they just turn a cheek now. It doesn't matter. I can just do whatever I want because I've never not showed up to fight. I've never.
How shitty would it be if they enforced that with other guys and they're like, we made it for Donald, but you know what?
Yeah, it's all right.
You're going to lose a contract over it, kid, because you're not him.
Well, the worst thing that happened is my life's so like go, right?
Yeah.
So this new planning, the USADA or whatever.
Right, the WADA deal,
Yeah. USADA, yeah, the testing. You have to tell me your whereabouts.
Right.
Fuck, I don't know where
You're
I'm
like, I don't even know where I am. I'm in the woods right now
Exactly.
looking for ducks.
So we took off and went to Denver to go duck hunting and go to the Bronco game. So they show up at my house like, where are you?
This
no,
weekend.
I was in Vegas. It wasn't this Vegas. It was the weekend before we went to Vegas on a whim.
Right.
And they're like, where are you? I'm like, oh, I'm in Vegas. And they're like, we're at your house. And I was like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
So I got to fail. I failed my drug test. Yeah. Right? So that's that.
Because a no-show is a fail. They treat it like
No-show.
that, whereas like even though I'm in a city and you got agents that are here, I could go to any office.
And I told them I was
They're
actually
going to treat that as a
get
fail,
my-
as if you ran out the back door
Yeah.
when they came
and
up.
that's what they thought. They said, well, we're going to hang out at your house for 2 hours. We got your house surrounded. I was like, well, I'm in Vegas. Fucking sit there all
9
day.
hours away. I'll send you a picture in front of the sign right
I
now.
didn't even-
Let
and
me go
I
to
was-
Dana's house.
I was there with the UFC because I was getting my blood drawn. So I went and got my blood drawn for my medicals and all that while I was in Vegas. So I was like, I'll just get another thing drawn. It doesn't work like that. I was like, oh, whatever.
That's some Gestapo shit. To me, that whole thing, I don't know what your thoughts are on it. It doesn't,
Dude,
like,
the
whatever.
absolute-
A lot of guys won't speak on it. Like I talked to
I'll speak on it.
some guys, but like to me, it seems like some silly pussy kind of shit. In regards to like, I heard Nowitzki talk about it, and that dude just seems like a super nerd to me. He seems like the ultimate of snitches and like super nerd cops.
Right.
And the way he starts off, he has to begin by saying, well, it's for the kids, you know? And then he's like, homeboy, who's the black guy that knocked all the baseballs across the town that they brought up on charges? They brought him up in Congress, right? Barry Bonds.
Okay.
And then they find out that he didn't even cheat or whatever. They're like, but he says, well, but he lied to Congress. It's like,
Right.
well, he wouldn't be there if you guys weren't harassing him all the way up to this point, right? And
It's unbelievable, man.
And so, like he says, and it's for role models for the kids. It's like, if that were true, booze would be illegal. You
Yeah.
want to allow parents to smoke in cars with their kids, or
Yeah.
like there'd be different. It's not for the kids. Now you're using that as an excuse because you're a super fucking nerd snitch
Yeah.
with a job that you want to lord over super athletes, so you can feel more powerful in your inept, impotent little state of life. I'm sorry, Mr. Nowitzki, but that's kind of how I feel about you. That's some rude shit. And this other stuff where they go, and maybe the bags will get guys closer to weights, but like to not have guys rehydrate properly, and to have a guy that is a complete amateur that's never been in the field before tell me what's best to
Yeah.
rehydrate when there's guys that have been doing it for decades. I'm not saying that we're not going to learn more about rehydration, but I do know that I'm not taking his advice.
Yeah. Dude, the it's so stupid. Like, why would you not want your athletes to rehydrate to their full capability? I don't understand. Makes no sense to me.
I mean, what we do know, no heavyweight boxers die of head trauma. What we do know is that all the guys that do die, which happens every year in boxing, are lightweight guys that cut a tremendous amount of weight.
Yeah.
Like there's a correlation, a ratio between the water retention in your head and you being able to sustain conscious or
I'm sure.
hard contact.
Absolutely. Got to be. But yeah, I mean, that's so stupid. I don't know why they put all these rules into play, but whatever, man. I'm still going to kick ass. It don't matter to me.
I mean, you're one of the guys that it's like, regardless of that, you're beyond. It doesn't matter.
Let's go.
The other thing I feel about it though too is that like if we know that like whether it's HGH or whether it's test or whatever anybody's doing, which a lot of guys do.
Sure.
To have guys not do that, you're taking away their ability to make a living. And what I mean by that is that you're gonna for sure shorten guys' careers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because if I can't recover, like I'm not going to be able to fight to as old an age as I'm not going to be able to have as many fights. I'm not going to be able to take as many fights within a year. Like at a certain point in your age, that's going to start to be dependent upon that. And so they're kind of shortening careers in that way too.
Sure.
I don't know. And what do you think about it as a guy that's still active in that of going, I'm going to go against a physiologically a superimposed being that has been taken outside nutrition to be able to fight me? Like, has that ever been a concern of yours?
Yeah, like the guy I'm fighting, Dos Anjos. No, I don't know. No, it never really has. I don't care. I mean, I've never. I can probably say I've never taken anything, so it never came a chance to be like, what if you can't do that all of a sudden? No, so I've never had that what if factor. But there are a lot. I mean, like Vitor, man, he's fighting this weekend. Like, how is he? He's one of the only guys that you look at the Vitor and then you look at the 80-year-old Vitor now, and he looks better in shape than he ever was. You know, so I was like, you can just.
Also, he's been active 20 years.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no other athlete that's been active that long, right? And so the two are correlative.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, for sure. I'm with you, man. I don't know. Fucking fighting.
Those dudes, when I heard Joe talking about it a little bit, he was like, well, what about guys that are doing gene work and now with myostatin inhibitors and things like that? And saying, you know, when that stuff comes up, everybody's going to want that. Like, everybody's going to go, I'd like to be leaner and stronger and in better condition cardiovascularly. And Nowitzki's like, no, that'll be illegal. We'll get on that. And he goes, and I just started thinking, I'm like, that would mean that at a certain point, as we evolve medically, that everybody that's in the stands watching the athletes will be in better shape than the athletes.
Sure,
right?
Sure, absolutely. Like, fair enough.
It's crazy. Right? When you think of it like that, you're like, that's really. So you don't want me to actually be the best that I can be, but you want it to be the best under these circumstances, which I think is mitigating the growth of sport in a way, or of evolution itself.
Sure.
Because you want to look like I don't know, a Nick Nolte at 70 years old, or do you want to look like Sylvester Stallone at 70 years old? I mean, that's the same age of human. Like, they look different though.
That's a very good.
One guy is lasting longer, better. I think
longer, better.
Probably
for sure.
Still likes to fuck. All that. I want to do that.
Yeah, Nick Nolte kind of. What movie was just in?
I don't know, but I just did a TV show with him yesterday.
Wow.
And
I just seen him in a movie. What was it? And I was like,
well, he's in Warrior. Warrior was the last thing. Thin Red Line. Oh, when he was with Robert Redford recently, and they were doing a walk across Europe or something like that. There's one like that, and he has trouble moving around, I think.
Dude, I'm sure. What the fuck was I? I just seen him, and I was like, wow.
Anyway, watching that dude, whatever you do for 40 years, you're going to be awesome at. But, man, that dude is like and to talk to him, he's like a transcendental kind of dude.
Yeah.
That's the iPhone watch?
Yeah, the iWatch. I like it.
It seems I'm resistant to it.
Why?
I don't know.
You never have to even use
First,
your phone
I've never
anymore.
been in watches.
I hate watches.
But then everybody wants the bigger screen on their phone, but then you've reduced yourself to a watch. It seems like you're going backwards.
The watch is so I can glance at who's texting or calling me. The bigger screen is for porn.
That makes more sense, I guess.
Right?
Unless you're watching like gangbang porn and you're like, I don't want to see great big dicks though, and so you make them little on your watch just so you don't feel bad about yourself.
I don't like to see great big dicks anyway. So. Yeah.
So how's the game this weekend?
It was awesome, man. It was so awesome.
Yeah,
it's fucking cool. Good old Peyton, the general, man. They finally letting him just do his own thing again. You know, you can see it's cool seeing him. You know, I felt like the first couple of games they weren't letting him call plays and be him. You know, and I felt like this game they let him. You see him out there just changing the play 3-4 times. It's crazy hearing him calling it, running up like, oh no, Omaha. No, I don't know what the fuck he's saying. But, it was cool, man. And the dude was awesome. You know, to meet him in person and.
Yeah, I saw the pictures backstage after
awesome.
and all that.
It was fucking cool.
You don't even take your hat off for those guys. So disrespectful.
Yeah, I know. And the best part was when I first went up to the man, he was just butt ass naked. I was like, I'm gonna
wait for a picture for later.
That's what I said. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll get a picture here in a little
It's
bit.
rad. How many guys you go up with?
I met everybody. It was cool. It was
Sick.
awesome. Yeah, it was
Nice,
awesome,
man.
Yeah, they were all willing and able to shake my hand, and hang out, and it was fun.
Nice. How many? When was your first fight? Your first Thai fight?
I remember being
There been like 20, 19?
28. I went 28. I remember being 19. My second Thai fight ever was in New York City. So I remember being
I would
not
say
21.
20 and undefeated in all those. Is that
Yep.
is that true?
Yep, that's it. So it was. Yeah, I remember being in New York City, not old enough to get into the bar. Had a fake military ID that we were using to run around. So it was wild. I remember we were at the Coyote Bar, wasted drunk, night before weigh-ins. I remember I was drinking Gatorades, trying to clear my head. Like, oh God, I got to
Before the fight?
before weigh-ins. Yeah, before the fight, because we just weighed in. Yeah, trying to like just
Same day.
drinking Gatorade, trying to figure my life out. Like, oh man, I gotta go fight here in a little
How'd
while.
I get here?
Yeah,
I made bad choices.
Yeah.
What brought you up to that? Like, when was the first time you started thinking, man, maybe I'd like to do that?
A buddy of mine, Mike Baldwin, man, he fighting is what we did. It was get pussy or
How old?
fight. 18, 15, 16.
Before
whenever.
all that, no ideas about it. Like,
Hell no. I had no idea. What else?
Nothing like watching
had
Bruce Lee movies and going, fuck, that'd be fun.
No. I was into like four-wheeling and fucking chicks. That's
Yeah.
like what
Yeah.
that's like what
Yeah.
I wanted to do. Yeah. And a buddy of mine said, hey, you should come down and try this kickboxing thing. And I walked in the gym and we threw down the first day. And I was like, this is the shit.
Full sparring, two guys that don't really know what they're doing.
Oh, dude, it was terrible.
Just awesome.
And now, for everyone listening, I was kickboxing before anyone knew what the fuck kickboxing was. You know what I mean? I told someone I was a kickboxer.
Well,
they
because
were,
everybody's doing taekwondo.
yeah, their
or
response was, my
whatever.
son's a
Yeah,
12th
yeah.
degree black belt. And
Yeah.
I'll say,
You're like a 12-year-old, that seems impossible.
right? So, kickboxing, it was, I mean, I couldn't even, to find fights, it had to be like New York and then all around the world.
Right.
So, like, finding
I remember
Thai
the first
fights.
time, like looking for anything like that, and I went to an Aikido school one time, and I was like, any okay wrestler would fuck up everybody in the
Yeah.
room. I'm like, you guys are just like everybody's pretending. I remember the first time I saw somebody legit, and I got to work with them, and I was like, this is awesome. This is
Right.
the best guy I ever met in my life. Fucking thank you for telling the truth. So were there elbows back then?
Yeah, with full rules.
Yeah.
Like, everything. Yeah, there was, like, when I started.
What years did that stop in the
Damn,
States?
I don't even know, man. I can't even think back that far. I feel like I'm so old in my fucking career now. But I remember, like, it wasn't even like you didn't even have the option to like anything else.
Right.
And most of it was all overseas, right? All
Right,
the full
right,
rules.
right.
So then we'd come here and the guys would be like, "Do you want full Muay Thai rules or just American Thai boxing?" I'm like,
Right, I remember there was a choice for a minute.
"Fuck you mean? What's the difference?" Like, well, some are with elbows, some are with no clinch knees.
No,
some
I know, that seems
some are
crazy,
kicks above
too.
the waist, and you're like, "What?" So it just started, like, once kickboxing started getting bigger, then MMA took over. And now I think kickboxing is starting to roll back. You know what I mean?
Really is.
Yeah.
There's all those guys at CSA Gym and Calvin,
Right.
like they're doing great, man.
And
I
it's
love
just-
watching those guys
It
fight.
was just so, but anyway, we threw down the first day, and I was like, "Oh, this." And then the guy said, "Hey, I got a fight for you in New York. You want it? 2 weeks." I was like, "Sign me up. Let's rock."
Now, did you know Dwayne back then at that time?
Mikey did. Mikey and Dwayne were like buds. So, yeah, I kind of knew him. I mean, I started training with him, you know.
Right.
But again, Dwayne never liked me. So it was like
You're a hard guy to like.
I am, especially back then. So
I
he
can't imagine.
he never like put his name on me. No, it'd be me training with Dwayne would be me walking to the gym, leading, beat bloody. That's how
Right.
it'd go.
Him whispering everybody, go hard on that.
Go
guy."
ahead, yeah, fuck him up. Green light. You know what I mean? So
Crazy.
that was like, and then I started winning fights, and me and Dwayne started working together, but we just never
Clicked
we
like that.
We didn't like we weren't. He didn't hate me,
No.
but he wouldn't like call me and take me to a movie. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
So
right.
yeah, yep. But yeah, it's cool. I don't know.
When was the first time you started doing grappling? When was the first time somebody choked you and you're like, oh, fuck, I got to know more about this now?
So the Ring of Fire was in Colorado, and like
Huge, small, regional
right.
MMA show up there. Huge. Everybody cut their teeth up there.
and yeah, I mean, it was just like MMA started, and so this is what I remember the most. MMA started getting big with the Thai boxing gym I was in.
Yeah.
And I used to be like, that is so lame. I would never fucking submit somebody. Like, I'll just stand up and beat their ass.
Right.
And that was like my mantra that I'd say to myself,
Right.
like, no way.
That would never
That's
happen.
not me. And then they gave
Or
me...
that wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
You think, I'm all right with my hands. You're like, how would we ever end up there?
Yeah, exactly.
That would never occur. Like,
So the Ring of Fire, well, what had happened is another organization came and cut me off in front of the Ring of Fire the week before, AFC or something.
Right.
It was like a one-off.
one that came and went. Yeah.
Said, we'll give you $5,000. So I was like, fuck yeah.
Those came and went guys. All those guys, whoever, all.
I said, I've made $500
They spend
kickboxing.
so much money. They offer so much money to try to fuck the
Yeah.
other thing, and then it's like, where'd you go?
Yeah, you're going to pay me $5,000, I'm in. And within Finn with the Ring of Fire, I said, oh no, you're still fighting me. So my first 2 MMA fights were back-to-back weekends.
Yep.
So my grandfather got a hold of a black belt up in Vail, Colorado. He bought me, my grandpa paid for a suite at the Holiday Inn in Vail for 6 weeks. Talking about some serious cash.
Yeah.
So, and that's where I lived.
Your grandpa sounds like the best guy ever.
Yeah, so he's like, I need you to go up there, and this is what you need.
God
Let's
damn.
get it going.
How crazy is it that there's a black belt in Vail? Like, what is in Vail? There's like
Wild,
that doesn't
right?
even make any
And
sense.
no sense. Well, he was up there snowboarding. So, anyways, we trained 3 times a day, morning, noon, and night, and all we did was like position. We didn't do any
And just
striking.
you and him.
Just me and him.
That's the worst too for him.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But he was making money. So
I know, but still, that
yeah.
sucks.
So 3 times a day. That's all we do. We position. Like if this, if that, this, right? All off my back because
of course.
we
Yeah.
figured I could take me down.
Yep.
So fucking fight starts. Bam, dude takes me down. Triangle win. Next fight, guy takes me down. Triangle win. I was like, fuck. From the pussy who said I ain't gonna take no one down and submit him. That's
Yep.
what went on. So, and then I started just going to Vail and training with him a lot.
What was his name?
Carlos Cavallo. He's actually Matt Brown's
Is he?
instructor
So he's
now.
in Ohio now or something?
Yep, exactly. He
Crazy.
moved. Yep, he's in Ohio now.
Matt's a nice fucking
He
guy.
is. And I see Carlos all the time. And I say, hey, Carlos, don't make me fuck your boy up. So it's cool. Yeah, Carlos Cavallo, man. He's a wild, wild motherfucker.
Rad. That's cool. He's still doing that.
Yeah, still doing it. Yeah. So I've been all around the world with him. He used to come with me kickboxing, and because I was both then, there was no, I couldn't.
There wasn't a separation, yeah.
I could do either one.
Yep.
So, which we would all the time, and it was fun. And I'd go to Vail and snowboard 80 times a season, and that's all I do. We'd train, snowboard.
It's so cool, man.
That's all we do.
What a fucking great time.
And then chase women.
Man. And there's just only rich women up there.
Only rich women, and then the 13 Argentina women that come up there for the season.
Really?
It's crazy. There's like a giant, like Ecuadorian, Argentinian.
Oh, and Chile? Because
Yeah.
they've got the fucking mountains through there, and they all ski up there, too, and then
So
they
they-
chase the snow.
Chase the snow, and they'd come in Vail
So
resorts.
my sister got to Alaska. She was working at somewhere
Yeah.
out there, Snowmass or something, and she's
Boom.
like, and then everybody goes from Chile
Yeah.
to here to there. I was
It's
like,
insane.
God
Like they
damn.
just show up, and like Vail gives them a place to live, gives them a ski pass, and gives them a job.
I gotta
So
go to
they,
Vail.
it's crazy. So and they're
dope.
hot, snow bunnies. So
Yeah.
we just hang out with them.
Right from the beach to the snow. It's
And the
crazy.
beach- Yeah, and it was a good time.
And so then, how many? You were like 20 fights deep or something, and like maybe 3
yeah,
or 4
all right.
MMA
So
fights when I met
was
you.
like, yeah, but you met me kind of midway. God, I still remember going. I think Santa Fe and watching you fight.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it was maybe Santa Fe here. I don't fucking remember where it was. Keith was cornering you, and
Yeah.
Isaac, the beaver.
God damn.
So I was like 8-0.
And then Leonard came a
9-0,
little bit
yeah.
after you.
Yeah, before me. That's how I came. Was Leonard. So I get a fight.
Because all those guys in Lubbock, they had something. Because I remember seeing them at Ring of Fire and stuff.
That's
when
where I
we were
met
up- when
Leonard,
we were
yeah,
up in Denver.
exactly.
And it was. I don't know if I want to say it was Leonard's brother, but I don't know if that's.
No telling.
I don't know. Anyways,
telling.
there was a
So-
couple brothers that would fight in Ring of Fire pretty
But
regularly.
Leonard was definitely one of the dudes.
Yeah.
And Leonard would come with his fucking grill, gangstered out, make me laugh my ass
One of the
off all
best
time.
stories I ever heard about a street fight. Like Leonard's like, that's why I don't fight in the street anymore. And he was talking about being at like a Denny's or something with his family or his girlfriend or something. And the guy just kept pushing it. And he goes outside with him and he's like, whatever, if you want to get this,
Yeah.
you know. And they go at him. He bowls him over. He's on top of him, pounding him, maybe in his guard. Maybe he took him down to the guy's guard. I don't think the guy knew what a guard was.
Sure.
Probably, but and he says, and then he just brought his arm up once and it wouldn't come back down again. And he felt
yeah,
the
he
dude
got
punching him
stabbed,
around.
yeah.
Yeah, and he'd been stabbed a bunch of times, and then the dude lodged a knife like in his
shoulder,
scapula
yeah.
or something, and so his shoulder wouldn't come down anymore. And he's like, and somebody's going, "Oh my God, you got a knife in you" or whatever. And he's like, he's like, I just was real hesitant.
Leonard
to
is like
street
the
fight.
best storyteller I've ever met in my whole life. So, story probably didn't go as as Bible told that one was. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, probably a little
It's
different.
exactly 100% truth as I heard it, and I believe that.
So, anyways, trying to the starving.
And then didn't you
student-
beat up a dude and throw a knife back to him? The guy
Yeah.
that pulled a knife on you?
Yeah, I
That was-
did. So we were all riding motorcycles. I used to love riding motorcycles, you know. So this guy cuts me off, runs me into the ditch. I'm fucking livid. So I chase him down.
And he's in a truck or something?
In
Yeah.
a truck. Well, he runs down a dead end, and there's like a lot of guys on bikes, probably like 15, 20 of us. 'cause
All
they
your
all-
buddies,
all my
yeah.
buddies. So the son of a bitch gets off his truck and pulls his blade, and all my buddies get off the bikes to beat his ass.
First of all, how crazy is that? Dude, you're going to go, yeah, here's 15 guys. I'm in a truck, but that's the only safe place because you're on a bike.
Yeah.
And there's just dirt. It's like,
Yeah.
But I'm going to get out, and now there's 15. Like,
So we
that's-
run him. We chase him, and he
He
gets
makes
himself
bad decisions.
and ends up in a dead end.
Holy
So all the bikes. So all my buddies like, boo, right? They go to get his ass.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like fuck, I'm gonna miss it.
Right.
So I fly up past him, I'm slamming my brakes. I remember just laying my bike down on its side, and I get off like, no, this motherfucker is mine.
This is a
Do
movie.
not-
This is a movie.
Do not.
This is like Roadhouse.
Yeah, it was cool, and he pulled a fucking knife on me, and I just went like motherfucker and head kick, bip.
First
dropped
thing,
him.
head kick.
Oh yeah, frosted him, folded him back, and then I grabbed his knife and I threw it back to him like, you might want this bitch, and that was about it.
Awesome.
And he woke up and was like, nah, bad idea. So, but we didn't put the boost to him. We didn't fuck his truck up, you know. So
It's fucking nice of you guys.
yeah,
That went the best way possible for
for
him.
him, yeah, it was just
Really?
a fucking head kick, knockout. Here's your knife back.
Best lesson you ever learned in your life.
I wanted.
Hopefully you learned something from it.
Yeah, I mean, all my buddies wanted to stomp him. You can't just run your guy.
Yeah, dude.
So he didn't get stomped. He didn't get.
And with 15 guys, if a couple guys want to do that, it's hard to stop
Yeah.
the tide.
Yeah, for the
you know what I
tide,
mean?
exactly.
Because
Yeah.
a tide is coming. It's like for a couple cool heads to go, no. Like that's
Yeah.
fucking hard.
They let it just all go down. So that was
Heavy.
But so the starving student trying to find
Yeah.
a fight path for all these guys is so hard. I had the same issues, like getting fights, they get canceled, right?
Sure. Or somebody gets hurt or
Or
they
get
pull
hurt,
out or whatever
right?
the fuck happens.
So that was my thing. I
Yeah.
fight for Tough Enough in Las Vegas. Show up for New Year's. My guy doesn't show up, you know? So I remember sitting there like, man, I can't keep chasing this dream. Like it's, at this point, it's a dream,
Right? I
right?
remember when Noak was going to go, fuck it. I got to go back to fucking Australia.
I have to do
I'm
something.
done with this.
Yeah, I can't keep waiting like, oh, I need to take this fight. This is the next one.
Yeah.
This is the next one, you
Yeah.
know, and then fighting for $600 because I mean, now my training camps, they run me like 20 grand. So if you think back then you're doing the same amount of training.
What's the cost of your training camp? What all goes into that for like, just so people know, like,
flying guys in, feed, you know, when the guys come out and they train with me, typically I feed them and, you know,
Sure.
take care of, I try to. If they
how
want
do
to
you
go to
pick
the
who you're
movies,
going to fly out?
it just all kind of depends on who I, who
you
I'm
draw the
fighting.
next fight and all that.
Exactly. But we
that
have
cool, then where do you find your feeders from?
guy, you know, like I got Jonathan Webb down here right now and Paul Felder, and they bring guys in that they train with and like, hey, I think this guy would be cool. They come in and you're either like, yeah or nah. And just over the years, man, we've been doing it a long time, so we know a lot of people, and we open our gym up to a lot of people and let them come down and try, and I'll know within the first
When you're in
10
that kind of
seconds.
close contact with
Yeah.
something, all that shit goes away. You
can
know
literally-
exactly who somebody is.
right away.
Yep.
In the first 10 seconds of me sparring, like, yeah, you're going to be all right or,
Yep.
or no. Plus, you have to be like a kind of outside of the box kind of guy to run with our crew because we don't take breaks. We just fucking run hard, whether it's playing, partying, all the above. You know?
Right.
So you got to kind of
Right.
be ready to like tell your girl, hey, man, I'll see you in 6
It's a different
weeks.
thing.
Yeah.
And also, even, I mean, it's hard enough. I don't know if nobody's experienced it. It's hard enough to go and walk into a strange gym. Like,
Sure.
that's a certain kind of athlete that does that. Even guys that are top level athletes, they'll never leave their gym to go and work, even with somebody they knew
Sure.
somewhere else. It's like they just don't do it. There's not a lot of that. And also, though, the best fighters are the guys that do that. But the one reason I think guys are hesitant is they get used to what they are, and so they're in their comfort zone is a huge thing. But the other thing is, like, people are afraid of being, which is always fucking interesting to me because people get afraid of being like a traitor to their school.
Yeah, sure.
And they don't want to be a ship jumper.
That's-
and, like, that's super duper honorable. But, like, the thing is, it's so cool is, like, that talk to Keith about it a lot, that like you're so upfront with whatever you've done, and you're like, no, this is my flag, and I'm just over here fucking going to there, and the authenticity that you carry as an athlete is so huge, and it really shows guys, because there's a bunch of dudes that could be doing the same thing. They're like, well, Cowboy does that. No, motherfucker, he walks different than you, and if you can't discern the difference, then you're probably chump change anyway.
Right.
You know, it's cool, man. It's been cool to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We have we're having that problem right now, especially with Jonathan and Philly, man. They're Daniel Gracie. He feels like they're trying to shift over, and they're like, no, man, that's the best training we can get with those guys. We fly your flag, and that's by all means. By no means am I like, Jonathan, you're a BMF ranch guy. I don't care.
Right.
I just want to train with you.
Well, and the other thing is that it's also Greg is so fucking cool.
Super cool.
That like he's a guy that's like, please go out and find out whatever and bring it back, and like let's all learn and grow together. Yep. And that was the thing I really appreciate about whether it was Greg or Eddie Bravo or whoever, is like they both have such a huge giving kind of like, I just want to see this get elevated.
Yeah.
And there's no borders on it. Like let's all grow and evolve. And what we've really seen, like we've seen stuff in the cage in the last 5 years, which before that would have been impossible. And the thing is you look at guys like, whether it's like an Anderson Silva or something, go, he's untouchable. Right. He moves around and guys knock themselves out. Or you see Lyoto Machida, nobody was moving like that.
Yeah.
And you see John Jones, same kind of thing. You're seeing these kinds of things. And the crazy thing is like they saw Hoist weak ass Gracie back in the day when nobody knew anything, and he comes out with magic in his pajamas and starts strangling guys, and people thought that was like, and it was crazy looking, but it was only based on everybody's ignorance. So it was a trick, right? In a way, it was cool because it exposed us all and it gave us all the lifeblood.
Well, he was the man when no one knew anything.
Which we go with for sure, and it was rad, and I'm grateful for that. But the fact is like, now it's like everybody knows everything, and you're still seeing guys evolve in a crazy way. And so that means that in 5 years from now, whether it's John or we're already seeing it with Anderson, Lyoto, they couldn't, like in 5 years from now, Lyoto Machida, Anderson Silva might not be able to compete in the UFC. Sure. It will have evolved so much. And that's a crazy thing. And that only comes from guys coming from different places and being able to raise the level of.
Well, there's like 4 and 5 year old kids training right now.
Yeah, yeah.
Dad is holding pads for them.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And how was it shooting a pterodactyl? Was that kind of cool?
So good, man.
I bet.
So fun. Dude, that whole trip out there. I got to go first time with one of my best friends in the world.
Right.
And so we're there, and then we're a block across. We're across the street from the beach.
Right.
And then they don't pick us up to shoot.
So are you in Hawaii?
We're in Hawaii. We're on Waikiki. And so me and Keith are staying. I forget what the hotel is. But we're there, and then a bunch of our other friends that were stunt dudes.
We don't want to plug them because they're not giving us free room. So.
But then all the dudes there, I get so dark, and like it was that all the guys are like, "Hey, bro, what island are you from?" And, and then Keith is this like just milky white monster walking around, and they're like, let us teach you to surf."
Right.
And so we surf every morning. And then we go to film for 12 hours, and then we go home. We get up every morning and surf. And so for like 30 days, we did that, and it was fucking rad.
How weird is it?
And that was I got paid to do that.
Yeah, pretending to see dinosaurs. Is it like hard? Like,
so good.
Do they put something there, or is it just like looking into this?
That was like a green screen deal.
So
I'm in the helicopter, and it's literally like that white screen, and they're like, "There's the X, and that's where you're gonna shoot," and you're like, "Okay," and then you come up and
They make it look so real.
It's so dope. They're so good with all.
That was a
CGs
good
now.
fucking movie, man. I would say that's my favorite Jurassic Park.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first one I saw, and then the second one looked super silly to me. And
like
then,
how dude's like, I'm the alpha, motherfucker.
This was
Just
great.
ride, boys. Right?
Yeah,
that's cool.
And all those guys were so cool. Chris Pratt was super dope,
right?
And that dude Vincent D'Onofrio, I've always been a fan of his. Like, you know that his first job, he told us we rode in the helicopter with him for a while. His first fucking job was Private Pile in Full Metal Jacket.
Really?
Yeah, and so that was his first acting job ever. It was like this, but I guess he was a Broadway actor before that or something. Like he's a for real actor.
Huh.
They're like, you shot a defenseless pterodactyl. I was like, it's a GMO.
Yeah.
Pterodactyl. Okay, that was genetically modified. And you don't want.
And if it was a real one, I'll bust his ass too, just so y'all know.
Now you were talking.
I never
about,
had pterodactyl.
I heard. Yeah, that better be great jerky.
I bet it would be.
You were talking about that 300 Win Mag that you got, right? And it's fully suppressed.
Fully suppressed. Integrity suppressed.
but it
No,
still
300
has a
blackout, not a win mag.
Oh, okay.
Rogan said win, and I was just like, yeah. I didn't even, it's a 300 blackout, and then we also have a 223.
which would not be able to be silenced because that breaks the sound barrier.
Oh yeah, and
it will
and just when we were out there shooting it, like the guy Keystone Armory came out and he was like, I want to put you through like a little thing just so when people, because you have the YouTube,
so you can educate.
You got
people.
the YouTube.
Of course, everybody's an
commenters.
expert out there.
So they want to tell you blah blah blah. So we were shooting supersonic rounds, which are breaking the sound barrier, so your crack is loud. So we put supersonic and then subsonic, alternating in the same clink 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 clink. It literally all you hear is the action hitting.
Crazy.
Look, I'm gonna play a little video for you.
I love that.
You guys are gonna have to just hear it because
Is this on YouTube or no?
No, this is on my phone.
Just on your phone?
Yeah, it's just on my phone here. It's my girl shooting it. So
That's so dope.
yeah, so this is her shooting the 223.
Right.
Supersonic
All you hear
rounds.
is the gong.
All you hear,
That's
right? That's the
wicked.
dong, her hitting the. Right, it's crazy.
Yeah, that's great.
Insane.
I got a friend of mine. He was a Force Recon guy, and then he worked for Blackwater for a while.
Yeah.
And there was a guy trying to sell him a suppressor for his 45.
Right.
And he was like, "No, I don't want that." And I go, "Why don't you want that?" He says, "Well, because if it goes crazy, I'm going to be loud anyway. It's going to
Yeah.
be loud, right?"
Yeah.
And he says, "But if I just get mad, and I just want to," he's like, "It's just too easy just to walk through life and." And I was like, "You think about that differently than I do, but."
Yeah, I mean it's so cool. So, everyone always talks about gangsters doing drive-bys. I wish a motherfucker would come by and do drive-by. I'll fuck your whole block up with it. No one even know.
Yeah.
I don't even gotta be
It'll
loud.
be quiet. Don will come up in his Prius. It'll be all. Everything will be silent.
Yeah, right,
engines,
come in,
everything.
yeah, come up in my. That's your car.
I'll be in
Drop
my
a couple
Tesla,
rounds.
just
Yeah,
breathing.
so it was insane. The handguns too are unbelievable. 9 and a 45. It's just so quiet,
Yeah.
so quiet. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's so easy to suppress.
So-
oh shit,
But Kyle Noak.
Kyle the Noak.
So look here, we
walks
got
in.
Jonathan Webb and Kyle Noak, the guys that just
Amazing,
fought one another.
Amazing,
Hanging
amazing.
out. And we got the
What's up,
black of the
handsome?
black right here.
How you doing?
Coolest black duck hunter.
Podcast right now?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
What's up, Noak? Thanks for coming out duck hunting this morning. It was cool. You missed out.
never even invited me
You
duck
missed.
hunting.
You missed all the ducks that flew by.
I know you
They didn't see any ducks at all.
We saw 3.
No.
Took a shot at one. Oh, so Jonathan Webb's talking over here, right? I don't know. Killing. You want me to kill a pterodactyl? And I was like, dude, it's cool. Like, it's a population control. No. First duck that comes, he's just clapping on it, and then all he wants to do is shoot and kill everything now. So he went from saying a little Bible verse to just to whatever. I'll kill anything. He might take a shot at a bum on our way home.
Do you guys eat the ducks though when you?
We breast them out and make jerky, then I feed the rest of the pigs. So they don't go to
shit.
waste. Yeah, the pigs
I like
love
some
them.
duck jerky.
They're good. Duck jerky. Whichever,
Anything with breast in is good for me.
anything breasted. He's a
That's
married,
what-
he's a,
I
mar-
felt
he's a
weird
married
too,
man now.
Johnson,
Don't
the
let
first-
him
the-
get carried away.
Not married.
He might as well be. His heart. Look at the hearts in his eyes.
Really? We'll talk
Yeah.
about that tomorrow.
It's a whole nother
crazy.
thing. Whole nother thing.
That when was the first time you killed an animal?
How young are his shorts he's wearing right now? What is going on
He
with those
he
things?
killed something to get those.
He did.
That's Australian rules right there. That's Australian
Wow.
rules. Kyle
Are
Noak
those
is wearing
Brazil- are
some
those
kind
Brazilian
of a
swim
cheddar
trunks?
print, but camo. He's trying to bring a roughness to the gayest shorts you ever saw. And by gay, I don't mean in the good way,
Yeah,
where a
if you-
couple fellas are just having fun. I mean whatever degrading thing you could say about those shorts. I mean,
No, they have cold brew here.
I don't know. Maynard's in the back. Maynard can help you with any coffee needs you got. Whatever you guys need. And there's some cold in that big white fridge. I think in the door there's some cold brews in little cans like this. If you're interested. Yeah, sure. When was the first time you killed an animal hunting?
I was young, super
How
young.
old? Like 12, 9?
I think hunter safety rule is 9.5. So yeah, right.
Right then.
You were 3? Oh no, yeah, I went out with my dad. It was like the worst. It was like the worst hunting story I could ever tell because we went turkey hunting, so I had to do this hunter
the first
safety
time
thing.
everything was not going to be aces.
So we go. My dad takes me far, talking about all this land. We're gonna be doing a lot of walking. We go down the dirt road, take a right turn. There's a whole bunch of turkeys out. I take my gun and smoke the son of a bitch right out the window. My dad was like, yeah,
Normally we don't do that over the car.
Yeah, you can't. Oh shit! Get the bird. Let's go. We gotta go. So you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just so ready to yeah, and his ass got popped right out the window of the car.
You didn't have any feelings about it?
No, none at all. You out of here, Kyle?
All right, call me later. All right. What about when you killed a large animal like a deer, elk, or something?
Well, so my elk experience is I grew up on a on
Is
an
that
elk
the first
ranch.
large animal that you killed? Is it elk?
Yeah,
Because
and
it's different
I'd-
shooting a
and
bird
I'd
than it
kill-
is an elk.
I'd
It's
kill
different.
elk for other people. That's the worst part. So that's what killed it for me. So I grew up on the
What
elk
do you
ranch.
mean?
So I lived on this elk ranch. So I raised these elk. Right, $15,000 is what we charged someone to come out and hunt a trophy elk. So we get these doctors
That's where
and
your
lawyers.
family got money? That was your business?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Jewelry.
you did like high fence, private game,
So
hunting
we own
trips.
sections of land. So most people talking acres.
Right.
A section is 662 acres,
Right.
right? Per so, and we had 500 sections.
Okay.
So you're talking like you would drive for 4 hours.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we have this river people would fish. We have all this land that people would hunt. We own these elk.
Dope, I never knew that.
Yeah. So
I was wondering how.
I'm in middle school. What is that?
I just figured you're an oil baron or something
I
this
wish
whole time.
I wish I had some oil money.
Same. Anyway.
So what's middle school? You're 10, 8, 13, 14, 12, right around there. And all these, my job is to feed these animals, and the guys would like want to go on come in their ridiculous safari gear, like they're on a big elk hunt.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, man, you could just hang out right here on my feed in like 10 minutes, and
Right.
Anyway,
you could clap one right now with a pistol.
Fucking
You're
whatever.
good.
It's so fucking lame. But anyways, I take these guys out driving.
That's what I thought about
on
that duck hunt
four-wheelers.
I got offered to go on. I'm like, that is
Same-
so.
That's how I feel.
I'm not into
So
it, man.
These assholes, right, pay this large amount of money to go out and hunt. I drive them on the four wheelers, make it act like it's a big deal.
Right.
They'll draw up on the
You're
elk,
like, maybe they'll come up.
and then they can't even shoot the motherfucker. They're like all scared and
so they
shaky.
gut shoot it or hurt it
so
or
they'll hand
something.
it to me, and I'll smoke it.
No way.
Yeah,
They
and
don't
then-
even try.
Yeah, they're usually like the adrenaline's too much. Like they can't do
Wow.
it. So they'll hand it to me.
That's
I'll drop
wild.
it. Then we'll walk over there. All they want is the head. Go ahead and.
They're just trophy guys.
Yeah, they're like, go ahead and just go. Yeah, I don't care what you do with the animal. Just go ahead and box that shit up. Send it to me,
That's some despicable shit.
dude. So it like killed my trophy, my elk hunting and big game
Yeah.
experience for me. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many elk I've shot. Shit ton, and like my favorite ones. But
is a
let me tell you
trip.
something. When an elk is in rut and it's time for feeding, bro, got some scary shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're coming hot.
I watched two elk fight once. I was over a bait pile for a bunch of whitetails.
Right.
And I hear just fucking a cacophony and noise coming through the woods. They come out into the field, and then another one comes out in the field, and little does are on the bait pile 50 yards away. They don't give a shit. And these fucking elk are smashing those. There's huge antlers into each other, and
Insane.
it sounds like somebody is maybe in a steel garage with a baseball
Yeah,
bat,
it's cool,
just
though.
beating the fuck out of the walls. It's fucking wild. And I was like, and those deer, not impressed. They're just eating, and I was like, this is beautiful, man.
No, they're
Like,
not impressed because
it's
they're like,
cool.
yeah, there's over there whipping
like,
his
that's
ass.
their thing,
That's
yeah.
their thing. Then the
Yeah.
dude whips his ass. Like, come on, bitch.
And then
just
in
ride.
Michigan,
Just go.
we didn't hunt. I don't know. When I was a kid, it wasn't until I was 9 or 10 years old, I think, that they opened up elk for hunting.
Right.
And so I could literally, as a little boy, walk up to fucking elk herds of hundreds.
Yeah.
And they'd have sentries posted out. They'd have like younger
Right, sure.
males. And you could walk up within, 20 yards of them, and it was no big deal. They didn't give a shit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then the year after, it was almost like, you know how like when a school of fish is going and then they all turn at the same
Yep.
time? It's not like one led that or flocks of birds, and you're like, how the fuck do these
Well, because
animals
they
communicate?
opened the draw there,
Dude.
and then they seen homeboy get smoked. And like,
It
yeah.
took one, and then everywhere else they were as skittish as whitetail.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's like it's weird. I wonder, like, everybody
Yeah,
talks
come
about
out-
humans are at the highest point of that, but I'm like, consciously it feels like those animals that communicate on those kinds of levels, that's some telepathic shit. That's a whole different kind of deal that we're outside of, and I don't know why that is. I feel like our ego separates us from real communication with each other in that way.
I wish we could just fight people for women still.
Well, you kind of do that. There's nothing really. I try to tell people what that's like, and I'm like, it's like you're maybe Nikki Sixx in Motley Crue in 1989 touring is what being a fighter is like. If you're in
No,
Vegas on
you
fight
are
weekend.
so wrong, bro. You know how
Oh.
many beautiful women come up and be like, "Oh my God, Cowboy, my boyfriend fucking loves you."
Dude, at the same time, you know whatever. How many dudes have you had come up and be like, take a picture with my girlfriend.
Yeah.
She loves you. Listen, I'm going to go get drinks. Whatever. I'll be back in a little while. How many times? I won't even ask it because you're a goddamn gentleman. But
Yeah.
it is fucking
Gangsta
crazy
the gangsta,
what
leave it at
happens to people, right? It's crazy. I've
Right.
seen shit that I was like, that's amazing that this is acceptable. That not only acceptable, that's what you're hunting right now, dude.
Yeah.
It's wild.
So I'm with
Anyway,
you.
whatever.
But just think if you could just beat your ass, take your girl, think how many less pussies there'd be in this world.
That's what Sonny Barger said, though, at one point. He was the guy that founded the Hells Angels.
Yeah.
And they said, what do you think about gun control and gun laws and stuff? And he says, I think an armed society is a polite society.
Yeah.
He's like, if you don't know who's got a gun, you're careful about whose toes you step on.
Yeah,
Because anything could happen. He's like, and just
Anything.
people are careful and they're more aware and they're gentlemen. And he says it's just not like that. People think there's not going to be I always see that, like, whenever I meet the biggest dickheads that I know, like real cocky dudes, I'm like, you've never been punched in the mouth prior.
Never.
And usually that's the truth, right? Is like that's a dude that's never felt the consequence for being a cunty person.
Yeah.
And people need to feel that, man. You
It
gotta
needs-
feel the struggle.
Not
at
even
some
a
point.
gun love. It's just you should be able to fuck somebody up.
Oh,
you
dude,
want to road
for-
rage with me? I should be able to beat you. That'd be your last road
Funny,
rage experience.
I'd drive that Mini Cooper around.
Yeah.
Dudes are so trip out when I pop out. I'll stop in the middle of the highway. I'll be like, which kind of way do we want to go here?
Yeah, I pulled the bus over. I pulled my big ass RV and got off the door, and my door's on the other side, so I got to get out the door and walk all the way around and say what's up. Yeah, and so yeah, it's
People are always less interested when they see you.
Oh,
They're like, oh, I thought I was just flipping you off and it was going to be great.
so one time I was on my motorcycle again, and a guy cut me off. So we pull up to the red light. Well, I pull up next to him, and he wants to talk shit. So I throw my kickstand down. The little bastard decides he's gonna rip his zip up Jeep window on me. So he just got throttled right through his little zip up window. Yeah, I said, I bet I could get through that. No problem.
Like, I've punched through guys' gloves before.
I
this
can-
little
I can
plastic
get-
window.
It's just funny. As soon as I walk in, he's like, zip, 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 zip. I was like, oh, that's your
Yeah, that's the defense.
That's it.
It's weird that they feel like they want to get safe instead of get out too. It's like you got to watch what you say. Then
That's
if you're
the
not
cur-
prepared
that's
for
the-
that,
that's the bitch in you, the
I
inner
feel
bitch.
like though also it's a responsibility of the people. I don't know if it's a parenting problem or what. I didn't get it through my parents, I guess, but like there's something wrong with people that don't want to become physically as adept and able as they can be. It's like if you don't want to learn how to take care of yourself in all different ways, it's almost like you don't like I've got this amazing mechanism and I don't want an owner's permit for it. I don't even want to know how this thing works. It's like if you don't want to move more beautifully and ferociously through life, there's something fucking wrong with you. Like that means you're a greeter at Walmart. Like enjoy that. We
Right.
need that too, but like you're in a different caste system than the rest of humans.
We
then.
literally just talked about this on the way down to the gym this morning because on my thing, the world's scariest haunted house where they can touch you and do all that shit, right?
Right.
Well, we brought it to another level. Like, dude, we should do some at the gym where we like come in and like kidnap people, right? I think normal society would just let you kidnap people, like they'll just surrender. I said if we came in and tried to get Greg or any of the guys at the gym,
Right.
Motherfucker, it's going down.
Yeah.
You're not just gonna
Yeah.
you're not just gonna walk in and
You're there
and-
for the night.
Yeah, you're not just gonna come in. So we
Yeah.
were like, maybe that's just a good idea to try and kidnap Greg and give him like a scare, you know?
Right.
But, so it's just we ran it, but
There's
yeah,
some
this
people
modern,
you can, some people you can't.
yeah, regular people you can
Yeah,
get away.
go
with.
into
You're like,
Greg's
freeze,
house.
mother, get
Go-
down, and they're like, okay,
Go into Greg's house at night and see what happens.
Yeah, right.
That is a wrap. You'll be a silhouette in the door and you'll
Right.
drop there.
Drop. So,
That's
yeah.
what I was thinking about. I ran into you were in Denver, but I ran into Joey Saturday.
Yeah.
And I was like, how'd it go, man? Because he was going to become a cop. And for those that don't know, like Joey Villasenor is one of the guys that was on the front end of,
He was here when I got here.
making MMA happen for Albuquerque and for New Mexico, and really one of the base pillars for Jackson's MMA, and a great athlete. And then he, what he's going to do afterwards, and he decides he's going to be a cop. And who better to be a cop than a guy like that? Like, and also, I mean, I remember fighting in Hawaii, and Joey was there cornering me, and I was going to fucking smash these guys, and just drunk and loud in the bar, and it was the night before the fight and all that. And he goes,
The good times.
He goes, dude, he says, I'd way rather buy these guys a beer than have to beat them up.
Right.
And he goes, you don't always have to go this way. And it was one of the nicest things I'd ever heard. I was like, I really heard him, man, because he was a guy I thoroughly respected.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, he had he could temper himself and go through that and like think things out. They told him no on the psychological eval because they said your history as a fighter could come into play if you got sued later or something like that. So they wouldn't let him be a cop. He failed his psych. Like, that's the guy that's the most adept at using his body, and also he's measured in all his responses. It's not like he just goes through fucking people up at the mall.
Could you imagine the guy that says, "Take your badge off and see what's up"?
Oh
That
my
for this,
God.
like, yeah, all right.
Well, and also then I thought about the difference of like if a dude grabs you that doesn't know what they're doing and they want to arrest you, and it's like you want to respect that because if it goes south, maybe you get shot or whatever,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't like the idea of anybody trying to take my freedom. That's why I want those guys to be trained. I want them to be judicious. I want to know I'm going to be safe, that I'm not going to get fucked up when I
Right.
get handcuffed. That's happened before. But like, if a guy touches you that doesn't know what they're doing, you know that right away. It's just like knowing if they're cool to
Yeah.
train with or not. You
Sure.
know if a guy, and so if a guy doesn't know, I'm more prone to resist them.
Right.
Because I think that maybe I could get hurt, like, and I
Sure.
want to be careful. If a guy like Joey grabs you, you're like, oh, this is going to be
shit.
safe no matter what. Like,
Yeah.
I'm okay. Like, it's like, I'd much rather have that guy handcuffing me. Not that I'm into getting handcuffed.
Yeah.
But it's fucking crazy. It is a crazy world we live in.
Sure.
In that way. Are you still just doing? People were asking me before. They go, "Does he really drink beer after weigh-ins?"
Yeah, absolutely.
I go. I don't know that for a fact, but I would say absolutely. I'm 100% sure that he likely does.
Yeah, I do, absolutely.
And then they said, "Well, I heard that he just eats whatever, and he's not really great with his diet and this and that." I go, "Listen." I go, if you try to eat like that, you're going to have horrible results. I said, he's missing like half of his fucking stomach or
true
something,
that.
or most of his intestines or something like that from an accident he was in. Like, he's not processing food the same way other humans do.
Correct. Fair enough. Fair enough.
What was that from? That was
A dirt bike. Yeah, I wrecked the 4-wheeler out racing quads. So bad wreck. And yeah, that's true. I only have half a stomach.
so different rules apply.
Different rules. Yeah, I'm missing like 50 feet of intestines and half a stomach. So, which is also why the UFC is granting me permission to use IVs. So
Really?
I can't rehydrate the same
Probably
rate.
good since you're failing your drug test
Yes,
because you're out
failing-
fucking around all the time.
Failing drug
You
tests.
can't just be at TDs or wherever it is or the Rhino.
Can you fail from alcohol or no?
I don't think so.
No, you can't even fail for weed.
I don't think so.
Yeah, you can.
No, not unless you're in the fight.
Oh well, there's different rules like about.
For weed, I won't
What about me?
you would, 'cause
Oh.
you have the fights on.
I'm a huge.
They don't want you to be too
huge
relaxed.
ambassador for medicinal marijuana now.
Well, you had a good experience with your arthritis or something on your knee or something like that, right?
Yeah, it might be.
I just
arthritis.
retore my shoulder again 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, I need to do something. I'm
Dude.
gonna go to Vegas. I'm gonna get stem cells.
Just put a little marijuana on it. You'll be good to go.
Rub a little weed on it. You're
Little
good. It's like
weed.
rub dirt on it, right? That's like that old shit. Like rub a little dirt on it, you'll be fine. You're like, I don't know, I can see my femur through my leg. No.
No.
Rub a little pot on there, you'll be good.
Use a little CBD oil. Bam.
But the CBDs they can make like without weed too, without THC.
Yeah, so the
there's
rub
somebody
that-
here that does that.
I haven't found it only CBD, but usually it's like 50-to-1 ratio, so you don't
I
get
know
like
a guy,
high.
and
from
you know
it.
him too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's married to somebody at the gym.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But what'd you get when you rubbed it on? You get a little high, or
Well,
not?
if you eat the oil, there's like they make a dropper.
I mix it in my coffee.
Yeah, I just eat the dropper. Then I had Bam Bam and Jonathan Webb at my house, and they ate all my fucking weed. So I didn't.
So they ate your medicine. You were sick, and then they ate your medicine. That's the worst.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
It's funny. Don just says, "I hope my mom's not listening," which is funny because like an apex predator, and then he's worried about mom thinking that maybe he got high on marijuana, which is hilarious, really.
And didn't even pay for his own marijuana, and snuck and stole somebody else's.
Snuck and stole like a thief in the night. Kind of. Allegedly, I don't know. I don't want to start anything with his mama, so we don't want any trouble there.
Yeah, we need to just legalize weed everywhere.
I think they legalize
Prostitution
everything.
and weed.
Everything. Heroin, everything. Crystal, I don't give a fuck. Make it
Really?
all legal. Everything.
All right.
Everything. Rogan always makes that argument like, oh, well, they're doing so well in Denver, taxing it and this and that. And I'm like, the fact that it's illegal is the tax.
Yeah.
Because, like, if you're the only one smoking pot and they get to tax you, that's awesome. But if they want to tax all of us, you make it illegal and go, hey, look at these scary junkies in the street. And then they take tax dollars from us. And then that goes into prisons. That goes into DEA. That goes into cop-funded programs. That taxes all of us. That takes everybody's money. They want it illegal, brother. Like there's of course it makes sense, but the government's not looking for humane examples of how to help.
Seriously, and
help people.
they could probably make some pretty serious meth if
Can you imagine if they got Upjohn Laboratories or whatever?
It wouldn't
one of
even have
those
to be.
guys.
It wouldn't even have to be
Ooh-wee.
like battery acid. Shit. It'd be like
That's what I
legit.
said too. I go, listen, you silly fuckers. All these potheads
They
that I know,
wouldn't. They wouldn't smoke their teeth out of their fucking heads. Maybe they could.
all those guys are all like, yeah, I can't wait. Pot's legal. Yeehaw. Big success. I'm like, now you're out of a job, dummy.
Yeah.
Like now you don't have any job. And now also, as soon as those pharmaceutical companies could start making weed, you'll see the first weed death. They're going to fuck it up for sure. They're going to make it highly addictive and they're going to kill motherfuckers. You wait. And then they'll blame it on you. They'll blame it on the home grower. And the home grower, they'll say, well, this isn't regulated. And so now they'll get Mama America, whoever's in Iowa, and like, I don't know, I'm afraid of it. Next week she'll be on it because she don't mind taking fucking Oxycontins right now.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? It's crazy. They just feed on the dumbness of folks.
True that.
When's your fight? The 19th?
December 19th.
In Florida?
In Florida.
I'm going to get a ticket, Cowboy. I'm going to go to Florida.
All right. I'll be there.
I want to see that.
I got the best seat in the house. I got to win
Yeah,
this.
that'll be pretty good.
I got to win this belt.
You do anything different for your training right now?
No, I'm going to tell Dana that I don't even really want the real belt. I just wanted to make me like a belt buckle belt for.
Like a rodeo belt.
Yeah, like a rodeo belt.
You
Like
can't say like a belt buckle belt. You got to say like a rodeo belt because a regular American belt buckle belt does not look anything like the belt you want. You want
I can
a
even
big,
say
huge dinner plate
with a beer opener on it.
Sponsored by Budweiser.
Sponsored by Budweiser.
Yeah, Budweiser on the top, Harley Davidson on the bottom,
There you
and
get
DOC
it.
in the middle.
It's in a big ass
And
diamond.
then you're like, listen, when I retire the belt, somebody's gonna have to wear this. They don't get the regular belt.
get-
Sorry,
yeah.
I changed the rules again.
That's it. So that's what I want to do.
Do you are you changing your training in your sparring, and when you fly guys in, when you fly in strikers, do you train hard, follow through, and look for knockouts when you're training?
Well, if you ask me if I'll head kick knock out one of the guys at my house, the answer is no. But will I head kick one of the Russians in Jackson's? Absolutely.
Right.
So if that cleared it up for you.
There's guys that you go full bore with that's different.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was
And I don't
thinking-
even go full bore. I'm like a tippity tappity until you want to turn it up.
Depends. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
that's,
you want to hit
that's
boil.
round to round dependent.
Yeah. You want to go boil, let's boil.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And the guys I bring up, they know how we play just fine. It's-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Timing and, yeah.
I remember somebody asked Keith that one time, and he looks, he goes, "What do you think?" I go, "I don't know. We go like 100%, but don't turn it over." Kind of is like the idea.
Yeah.
Do you find that is a detriment in a fight going up to it, or do you like as far as not following through all the way?
Oh, no.
Not
Killing-
at all.
Apex alpha male. Shit. The killing's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got no problem with that. It's easy. That's the easy part.
What's the hard part?
Fuck sitting here waiting till 6 weeks from now.
It's easy to get in a street fight. It's
Yeah,
hard
I'll
to
go dust
fucking
that
have a real
motherfucker
fight.
right
I
now.
know, that's the thing, right? If somebody just jumps out of the car, everybody knows how to go
That's what
right
I mean.
now.
Yeah,
It's all the thinking and the waiting and the fucking. That's what
It's
people
the
think. Too. They're
if-Is
like-
and the maybes that get
one
you,
of the
man.
funniest things is people look and they what I guess the difference with what people looking at fights see versus what I look at fights as. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
like they all look at fights and they're like, oh, all those, you're fucking this, and they have ideas about what it all is. And then I'm like, if you could see inside everybody's head before they go out, or even weeks going out, like those are all the fights. When you go out and tap gloves, that's freedom. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's the freedom. Like up to there is torture, man.
Yeah, brutal.
Like it's the worst.
So I mean, the last week and the if-Is and the maybes, did I do enough? Did
Right.
I? That's the hard part.
And then if you hold back and you don't let it all loose, like, am I being too careful while I'm here?
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I heard one of the smartest guys I ever heard talk about that particular thing was Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
And he said everybody tries to avoid the fight on fight week, and they try to go to movies or they do this or that and try to not think about it all.
Sure.
And he says, but then what happens is on the day, fucking boom, it's here. And now you're adrenaline, now you're fucking pumped up to a fucking 100 on your adrenaline. He says, I try to keep it fucking 45 to 60 all week long. And I'm always thinking about killing them. I'm always thinking about fighting. The fight's always there. He says, so then there's not a big jump
And they
in
are.
any of my glands. And I thought that makes sense, man.
He
That makes a
legitimately
lot
is
of
ready
sense.
to fight at any second. He might be at 90 fight.
All the time.
All the time.
Maybe just relaxed, smoking a joint. Just got done with a tri-marathon or whatever
You know
the
what I mean?
fuck.
And while he's running, he's like, if that dude passes me again, I might fuck him up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you just
man.
never know.
I like those guys. Those guys are cool to watch.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's just in the way they look at it. I thought about it when I saw one of the behind-the-scenes things of him, and he was talking about how his how he was always fighting for his life. He's like, I don't want to sit there and press and pretend like I watched Carlos and Robbie the other day, and they're interviewed like right next to each other, and like that you want to see Nick Diaz getting interviewed like that, and he's like, I'm thinking this guy wants to hurt me and fuck him, and like he's a threat to my very life.
Yeah.
And he's thinking that from like schoolyard days is what he's talking about stories of. He's like, I'd go into new places and dudes would all try to fuck me up, and he's like, I'm fighting for my life all the time. And I thought, if he were more mentally well, like if he got into a place in his mind where he's like, I'm comfortable with my past and who I am and all that, I'm like, he might not be as good a fighter anymore. It might take a lot of that away, because that like all of the stuff that goes into making up different fighters is different, you know?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I think of that story you tell when your grandma's yelling at you, cage side and shit, and all,
Right.
like all the different stuff, you know, is.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Uh-oh.
Gangster rap.
Well, thanks for coming, man.
Hey, no,
I don't want
thank
to keep
you.
up any
No,
more
no,
time,
we're good.
but
I appreciate it.
I appreciate all you guys coming out. Thanks
Thanks
for
for
waiting,
having me.
boys. And we'll talk again soon. And
We will.
I'll see you on the 19th.
On the flip
What else?
side.
You got sponsors and shit to talk about or anything? Everybody
Shit.
knows already.
Caveman Coffee?
He drinks Budweiser and Caveman Coffee if you pour it down his throat.
You know what I mean?
All right, man.
No, it's good. So I'm happy. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Yeah, just me living
All right.
life.
Stay black. We'll talk
Stay
soon.
black, baby.